Good afternoon and hello. I am so excited to be back with all of you again today. I have been on vacation for the last couple of weeks and feeling refreshed now that I'm back. And we had a wonderful time with our daughters and grandsons and son-in-law and spent some really quality family time in on the big island of Hawaii. So here we are after what, pool time, reading time, a little exploring time, a bit of, no, a lot of eating, and a little bit of drinking time. So anyway, it was a whole lot of fun. So today, of course, this made me think about, okay, well, what do I wish I had brought with me on this vacation, as well as what really served me well. I also want to just talk about, of course, some of the trends that I'm seeing in the marketplace right now as they apply to what I'd like to call these 5 essential wardrobe items that you need to take on a warm weather vacation. Now, of course, after vacation, we come back here to our home and it's been windy. It's been sunny, however, but it's windy, it's cool. And so I don't know, I'm not feeling like I'm in the mood for some of the things I'm going to be talking about, but I know that there are many things coming up over the next 6 weeks where these 5 tips or these 5 essentials are going to be really important to me. And I hope you're going to find that you're going to check your closet after this Facebook Live and go back and see, okay, are there things that I already have that fit the bill, or are there going to be some things that I need to really focus on as I get prepared either for vacation or upcoming events. So, with that in mind, let me jump in here. I always ask you to say hi so that I know you're here. And I know I always have my regulars, so I'm going to guess that they're here as well. But tell me who's here, say hi. As well as I'm talking about a few of these things today, I want you to tell me, whether it would be something that you would wear or that you already have in your closet. So with that, let's get started. I have a lot of pictures that I want to share with you today. Hi, Casey. Hi, Marcia. Welcome back from Tokyo. My goodness, Marcia had quite a trip and several hiccups with people that came down with COVID. So I'm glad you're back, glad you're safe, and hopefully you're getting some good rest. So thrilled to have you. All right. So, the one thing that really served me well in Hawaii, and by the way, the temperature there the high was about 79 degrees. So, it wasn't boiling hot, but it wasn't cool either. It was just like you got up in the morning and you just felt like you could go outside and, by the way, have a sundress on. So, I think the sundress is probably the most ubiquitous warm weather silhouette that we're seeing for this season. So if you don't have a sundress, maybe think about, yeah, I need to get myself one. And that's what I did for me too, because where I live, again, we don't find ourselves in sundresses very often. But with Hawaii coming and with my grandson's graduation coming up in June and a few other things we have going on this summer, I said, you know what? I've got to get a couple of sundresses. And I did. And I have to tell you, I lived in those sundresses in Hawaii. They're effortless. They're kind of no fuss, no muss, just slip it on and out the door that you can go. And you can wear them to church and you can put, some sort of a little cover up over, whether that be a jean jacket or whether that be a cardigan sweater or whether that be a pashmina that you throw over your shoulders. So lots of ways to take a sundress and cover up as well. You could actually go to a casual wedding in a sundress. You could go on a picnic. And there are lots of prints out there. So let me show you some things that I found. Now, let me, all right. So here is, I was actually doing some research for a client, and she is going to Mexico in June for her son's wedding. And so we were kind of looking at different things that she could be wearing, and I found this fun Farm Rio, it's called. That's the brand, Farm Rio. And Farm Rio does a lot of really fun, kind of ethnic prints, but always very colorful and bold. And this, I think, just and by the way, the wedding, the color theme is going to be navy blue. So I thought this could be really a fun sort of. It's a beach wedding, so to me, this says beach all over it. And also, you've got the off the shoulder look, which is very popular right at the moment. You've got the ruffle at the bottom, and I'm noticing a lot of the sundresses have those tiered ruffles. And as a matter of fact, the one that I bought myself had a three-tier ruffle, which was very fun. And very comfortable to wear. I bought mine in a, what was the fabric? Bamboo. That's what it was. It was a bamboo fabric. And I have to tell you how that breathed so well. It had some weight to it, but it wasn't hot to wear. So look at bamboo. All right, here is another one. Very colorful and very fun and festive. And you could put a white jean jacket over that, or a white pashmina, or a white little bolero sweater. And how fun would that be? You're seeing sundresses in a variety of lengths as well, from the maxis that I just showed you to the knee length to the midi in between. So, what's going to serve you well. I had both the shorter one and I had the maxi, and both I loved. All right, here's another one. This is Johnny Was, and it's a mesh cover up over a, I think it was a Model cotton lining, but lightweight and just a beautiful fabric and a beautiful pattern. Then we have, if you want sleeves, so there you see also the tiered skirt, and that's what I was talking about in terms of what I had done. Mine happened to be in a solid color, but I think this is very fresh. And again, if you want sleeves, there you've got it. And a little bit shorter version. And then this one would be a short version of a dress, a sundress that you could wear on vacation. So again, a variety of things. All I want to say is they are out there in a big way, in every color, in every fabric. Here would be an example right here of taking a sundress, and then, there is your jean jacket tied around your waist that you could slip on at any moment if it cools down. And this one is a little dressier. I thought that was very pretty, very flowy, very obviously beachy, beautiful color. And lastly, here is an example of something that my daughter, well, she didn't wear this exactly, but this kind of a look. And she wore this on the plane. And I thought, well, what a great idea. So again, comfort, and then to finish it off with the jean jacket as well. And jean jackets are prevalent in all kinds of colors this season. I'll show you some here in a moment. So let's see if I have any questions. Jody, where are you? Are you in Switzerland still, or 42 to 45 weather for 2 weeks? Hot. Oh. Well, hopefully you have a sundress along with you. And let's see, June in the rainy season in Mexico, where she's going to be, we kind of checked it out, and it looked like the weather was going to, we did a 30-day lookout, and it was going to be nice. But thank you for that tip. All right, so Second item, so that was the first item, got to have your sundress for this summer for sure, spring and summer. The second thing is the shorts. All right, so, shorts is always a topic for my clients that are 50 and over. How much leg do I want to show? I find that when it's hot weather, you don't really care. You just want to be cool. So this is the length of short that I'm seeing a lot of. Again, my daughters, now my daughters, by the way, are in their 50s. So here they go. They were doing this sort of a look, kind of that shorter, boxier short. And what I want to say is white or neutral short, I think, is the most effective in a warm weather client because it can really work back with so many things. Now, I know when you're traveling, sometimes, you have to worry about the light colors because of dirt. But in terms of being able to pair it with other things, white or a light neutral, I think number one just looks cooler and breezier, if you will. Here's another example as we go a bit longer. And the thing I want to say about the shorts right now is, let them flow a little bit. We don't need them to be, like a jean short, but, the fabrics are a little flowier. You can see the fullness in the leg, and this is a great sort of a look. The waistband you can see in the front is more tailored. In the back, it's elasticized, which again is great for comfort. And the tailored front, I think, just gives you more flexibility in dressing it up if you need to dress up the short. And then for those that may not want to have a short, this is always a good example. Now, this one I feel is going to be warmer. Unless you get it in a linen or a cotton, then you're going to be fine. But I wouldn't do this look in a denim. So kind of that knee length if you're trying to cover up the leg. And I know that many of my clients are very sensitive to their legs, so this is one example of what we can do to cover but still give some breathability. And if they can find this particular short, even in something that's a little more flowy or a fabric that's a little softer and flowy, I think that's just going to allow the temperature to, or the heat to flow in and out much easier. All right, so number two is the neutral short in the white or the cream. And number three is going to be a pair of white pants. And I had white pants, and let me tell you, I was very thankful that I did because it made me feel cooler rather than wearing something black or dark or denim. So a white linen or a white linen blend or a white cotton pant in a longer. So here would be one example. In fact, this was very similar to the pant that I took with me, and I loved it and went out to dinner in this a couple of times. And mine was in linen for sure. And also having it be a little cropped, I think, again, just adds to the airflow and a cooler sort of a look. This is another leg that we're seeing very prevalently right now, a little fuller, a little wider. It's not a great look for me, so I preferred this one, just slightly narrower, but still has some fullness to it versus this one. Now, the other thing that I am going to buy is going to be a twill jogger. I love joggers. I wear them all the time at home. And I thought about it after I got back home, and I said, well, I took a pair of joggers with me, and I said, well, why didn't I do those in a light color too? So this is on my shopping list. Again, the leg for my silhouette is just perfect. So always thinking about your proportions and thinking about, where you carry your fullness, and do you need to do some balancing technique. That would determine whether you're going to go with something like this that comes in at the ankle, or whether you're going to have something that just is a little straighter and a little bit fuller, or whether you can get away with the trending look of the really wide leg, which is a hard silhouette to do for most women. So even though it is very popular, I always caution my clients to really work with what works for their body. Don't get all hung up on what happens to be the trend for the day. All right, so now this one is going down a little more to a ankle length. So you're wanting to think about, well, where am I going? What am I going to be doing? What do I need? Do I need in the evening something that's going to be a little bit warmer, a little bit longer? You have to choose. But my point being is that a white pant is really important. So wide leg, flowy cropped version, modern, comfortable, all of those kinds of things. Maybe a little bit of stretch for more comfort. You can take all of these pants and dress them up or dress them down. And because we're talking warm weather, the lighter colors is definitely going to serve you well. All right, so we've got the sundress, we've got the neutral short, and we've got the white pant. Now the second thing is what I'm wearing today, and that is the printed top. Now, interestingly, when I suddenly realized that printed tops are so prevalent right at the moment, looking in my closet as I was preparing for vacation, I went, you know what? I don't have very many printed tops. I really have a preponderance of solid tops, colorful, but solid. And so I took a lot of those, bright, springy, summery sorts of tops, but I did have this one in my closet, which is the one that I happen to reach for almost every day when I wanted to put on a top, because number one, it's fun. I could wear them over my neutral short. I could wear them over my white pants, because any kind of a color, especially if it's got a little white in it, is going to pair back really lovely. So what I have on my shopping list now is to get a few tops that are going to be, serving me well, but are patterned, that are printed, because that happens to be a very big trend. And it's a trend that for me, I would like to try. I would like to do more of. So I would say that a pretty printed top is really kind of what I would call an instant outfit maker. It can be fun, it can be festive. Let me show you some things that I discovered. Now you can find many different sleeve lengths. So you can see I have just a little kind of a flutter sleeve here. It's split here on the side. You can see that. Great for warm weather. This is a linen. So it's got a linen it's linen primarily, but it's got a little bit of cotton in it, so it doesn't really wrinkle. And, coloring for me works well. But this is, also another example of what you could do with the printed top. Look, if you're into stripes, and of course those, open shoulder, very, very, nice for the warmer weather. And that would be one example, doing that in, again, your neutral, your gray and your white. But then starting to add some color. I thought this was pretty, and this pattern is kind of a paisley. And look, paired with the white jean, how fresh that looks. Also, more stripes, but again with embroidery, longer sleeves. For those of you that like to have a collar, this I think is a great look. Let's see. This last one, no collar, but V-neck. So, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a collar or not? Or do you like to do both? Do you like a V-neck? Do you prefer a higher neck? Here would be a blouse, a button down. But again, you see with the white pant, how fresh that looks. And we've got our stripes. So very classic, more of a traditional sort of a look. Now, this would be something that I would do. You know, this is my style personality. So you're always taking into account, well, what is your style personality? What colors are going to work for you? What is the scale of the pattern that's going to work best for your height and your silhouette? But again, look at the white pant tied back to. So you can see you could have one white pant, you could have 4 or 5 different tops, and now you can change that look out every single day and not be saying the same thing. Now these are Talbots, and you can see these blouses are a knit, very colorful, but there are the examples of 4 or 5 different colors of jean jackets that you could buy one jean jacket and put it over, you know, several different tops that have a color in it. So for instance, down at the bottom here, we're talking about the pink, and then, you know, you can see you can do it over something that would be solid, but you could do it over the pink patterned knit top as well. And all of these go over your white pants or your neutral colored shorts. And many of these also would go back over a sundress. All right, so sundress, neutral short, white pants, and the printed top. Well, let me just check and see if I've got any comments here. No comments. So you might want to put into the comments, so far, what would you make sure that is in your travel bag if you're going to a warm weather destination? Sundress, neutral shorts, white pants, printed tops, and the t-shirt, tank top, I would say, that we all know and love, you know, that is more a, what would I say, scoop neck, maybe a cotton that has some sort of a ribbing in it. That's what we think of when we think of tank tops. At least that's what I think of. Well, this season, the top is very different. It's an updated version. It's got wider armholes, and it's more of a halter style neck. It's, again, it's modern, it's effortless if you can wear this top, and it can stand on its own, and it also can be beautifully layered under your jacket, under your cardigan, sweater, etc. And here is one example of it right here. I love this, and here we have the pattern as well. And that pattern top could go with a white pant or with the white short. But do you see how the armholes are much larger and how the neck comes up high? I love that. And it's got a little frill around the top. Very pretty. Here is another example. Now this would be difficult for me to wear without the right kind of a bra, and quite frankly, I don't like to mess or fuss with those kinds of bras. So this is not going to be the type of an updated tank that I'm going to put into my wardrobe, but I just wanted you to be aware that this is really a piece that you could update your wardrobe with if you wanted to, because they're very prevalent right now. And then here would be another. So you see how those armholes are really cut in and how that neck looks more like a halter style neck. So this would be something in lieu of just your regular old tank. And then, of course, when you do it in a print or a print, that's in keeping with the trend for all the prints that are out there right at the moment. So that is your 5th essential that really has everything looking very modern right at the moment. So what do you think? Would you do any of these? Jody, on your trip, would you see that you would do any of these, being it's so hot where you are? If you're still on, I'm not sure. You may have dropped off. So, all right. Well, I don't see any comments. I don't see any questions. And I'm wondering, are these 5 pieces not resonating with you, or are they resonating with you? I would be really curious to know how you feel. These are my observations. These are what really worked for me, or didn't work for me in the case of the tank. But I'm not a dress lover, let's put it that way, but I am a convert in warm weather clients. So I'm happy that I've got my dress already picked out for my grandson's graduation in June, and it's going to be a long maxi dress. So that's going to be fun, and I'm going to either have my jean jacket with me or I'm going to have a pashmina. Not quite sure yet. So that's it for now. I hope that you found that to be, Marcia, you said all very applicable for warm weather. Yes, great, good. Glad you enjoyed that. And who's going to be doing some shopping? Anybody going to be out there looking for any one of these categories? And you'd add a hat. Okay, absolutely. A hat would be very good if you're out there in the sun, for sure. And there are other things that we could add to this list. I'm just wanting to say to you, these are my, this is what I'm noticing, and this is what I really enjoyed having along with me. And a hat, you're right. Hat, I did have a hat along with me. So I should have made this a list of 6. All right, ladies. Well, next week, what I'm going to be talking about is shoes that every woman needs for this spring and summer. So tune in next Friday. I'll see you back here at 12 Pacific time. And in the meantime, if you've got any pictures that you want to load up here or take a selfie of yourself in your sundress or in a fun printed top that you love, go ahead and do that and post it here in the thread so that we could all enjoy as well. So until next Friday, take care. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye now.